live.
Oh, God.
Hey, guys!
Hi.
This is where the panic sets in.
You'll be alright. Deep breath. White light. Be alright.
No.
You're not gonna die, I promise, hopefully. Don't die, because then we have to call the ambulance. That's not gonna be pretty. Let's not
Just
do
don't
that.
open the portal and we'll be okay.
No, I'm not doing that again.
We're not opening portals today.
No, opening portals by yourself and not knowing what you're doing, no, that's not okay with
That's
me.
not a good idea.
Shouldn't have done it in the first place.
No.
No.
So why don't you guys start by talking about who you are?
Well, you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You're on the
Hi,
end.
everybody. My name's Kelsey. I've been in the Savage Energy group for,
Since the beginning.
how long's that been now?
I don't know. But
Almost
you're one
a
of the
year,
you're
yeah.
the founding member.
I am one of the founding members. It's been great. I've been into paranormal things since I was a kid. Grew up in a semi-haunted house. Lived on a semi-haunted block. And see things that other people don't see usually. And it's kind of how this all got started, honestly.
Okay.
Your turn.
I'm April. The other founding member. Grew up in a haunted house. Many haunted houses. Empath. Crystal fanatic. Sometimes I can hear things other people can't hear. On occasion I see things. Been doing this for, I don't know, 8 years, I think.
It's been a long time, yeah.
Yeah. Decided to start my own group with Kelsey and Tabitha, who can't be with us, but she's going to be texting in. On to you.
Hi, I'm Megan. I have been into the paranormal studies since I was a kid, honestly. I'm our group's occult specialist because I know all of the things occult. I'm a druid by trade, so I, like folklore magic, mythic creatures, cryptids.
Things we don't talk about.
Things we don't talk about.
No, you
That's
didn't.
kind of all my scope of hyperfixation. So, yeah, I've been like paranormal investigator now for almost 10 years. I'm the newest member of Savage Energy, just under a few months.
Welcome to chaos.
Welcome to chaos. Yes, it is chaos. It's always chaos with us, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've known April for a while now. We've done some other investigations with another team, and
It's always chaos.
always excited to, be part of the new team. It's a lot better situation here than past teams that I've been on.
Well, it's just because we're a lively bunch and we make everything
Oh,
fun.
We're
we are.
special.
That's how things
Special.
roll in our community.
So special.
Yeah.
We're so special. So special. It's always fun.
What do I do?
Yeah, what do you guys do
Oh.
when you go out to an investigative place? What is it that you guys normally do?
Oh,
Oh, we do a lot.
yeah.
Baseline readings, which is, getting the normal kind of daytime feel of a house. So it's the temperature, the electromagnetic fields, just like basic feeling of the space that you're in before it
And the
goes
people
dark.
that are in the
Yeah.
And the
space.
people. We deal with the people the most.
Tabby is actually the person who actually talks to all of our clients before we do. April and I have this habit of feeling that something is there, so we just go. We just wander.
I squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
squirrel.
I squirrel a lot.
As Tabby asks all her questions and writes down all the notes, and then April and I'll sit down and be like, yeah, that's kind of what we felt like is going on. And then we'll kind of go from there. I actually just got into tarot reading. So I like to go in before I talk to anybody, just sit down, do a reading, see what kind of energy we pick up, and then throughout the night I'll just kind of disappear, do another reading, and be like, hey, how do you guys feel like the rest of the night?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it always changes. The more you start opening up to things and asking more questions, the readings change within 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. Sometimes we go into places and like we may feel things or get weird dreams about the location, and then we're there and we're like, why are we here?
Right. I just like how things happen like days before we're supposed to have an investigation, and then we're all like, hey, so did something weird happen to you this week? And it's instantly like, oh yeah.
Yeah, this
And then-
happened, this
yeah.
happened. Like,
And
we
they
all
all
had weird
coincide.
dreams
Right.
about our last investigation that we were at, and it was intense, some of, like, the nightmares that we've had. And then we get there and we're like, all of this fuss
Right,
for
what
this?
happened?
Like,
What happened to all the stuff that we were all thinking about?
What?
Yeah.
What is this? Because sometimes we get there and we're like, okay, like, we've all had nightmares about this whole place burning to the ground, and, like,
Nothing happens.
nothing happens.
Absolutely nothing.
Like, we get chaos. Like,
We
we'll be
get-
like, oh yeah, there's a portal here somewhere, and like,
Nothing.
nothing.
No video, no EVP, no nothing. Just like talking to the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, like the last 2 times that we've gone out, it's been a lot of
Nothing.
nothing. Like, we feel like we're talking to the walls, and we're like, what happened?
Can't really
Like,
describe
you
it any more than that. It's
made
just nothing.
our dreams and nightmares so horrible, and now like we're here and now you have nothing. Like, why are we even here? Why are we wasting our time?
Right.
Because
Right?
They used up all their energy trying to make us not go.
Pretty
right.
much, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we get there and we're like, okay, like, so we get some pictures with some weird faces, and we get an EVP that says, oh my god, and that's it. I'm
Yeah.
like, why
Yeah.
are we here? Why,
Mhm.
what is this? Like, this is not anything that I would consider remotely like what our clients have said
No.
is happening in the house. And we're like, introduce us. Act like we're your friends when we get there, and then maybe something will happen and we won't be bored.
Right.
We're not sitting and staring at each other all night. It's crazy.
Sit around, play Monopoly. Hey.
So you guys had some recent investigations. What are some of the details behind those?
Well,
Well,
the first one was intense.
yeah.
I think the first one we
was-
did was pretty intense.
I don't think you were on that
No,
one.
Megan
No.
wasn't there yet. That was our first investigation as Savage Energy
That was
with me, Tabby, and April.
yeah. There was a little boy who had a shadow person trying to convince him not to take his medication that he needed to survive.
Shadow people are like my least favorite kind of entity.
Yeah, we had to go head to head, face to face, whatever you want to call it, with the shadow person. But on last report, he was doing good.
Good.
He was taking his meds.
That's
Good. Yeah, that's
Shadow people are probably like my least favorite group of entities. They're really hard to get rid of. They're kind of dangerous. They're multidimensional, so they're just not my favorite. They're not my
they're
favorite
like
type
the
of
toxic ex-boyfriend you just can't get rid of.
Yeah.
Yes, so true. Like demons, you can have like exercise from a space if you really need to, but like
Well, demons you can even have a real conversation with.
right, shadow people are just
I mean,
there.
they might torment you,
Right.
But shadow people are just there. They don't talk. They stand there and look at you like you're a creep. And I'm like, can we not do this?
but
Like,
right.
there's really not much to their activity though. Like they
Right.
literally just stand in
there,
the space and
stares.
stare at you. It's
Creepy.
the same thing with like the Hat Man. Like he's got glowy weird eyes, but like
That's
he
it.
just
yeah.
stands there and
Doesn't do
stares
anything
at
else,
you,
yeah.
and I'm like, I'm not okay with it. I don't
No.
like that.
Quit
I don't
being a
like when
creeper.
things just creep on me. I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid enough. I don't need things just like creeping at me from like the shadows. They just stand there and stare at you. Like they don't really do much. Sometimes they might try to like convince kids to like do stupid stuff, like
Yeah, hurt
Like,
themselves. or
hurt
somebody
themselves, bite electrical cords. I've experienced that a few times, but
I
like
think most toddlers have, you
Else.
right.
Can't always blame that one on the shadow, though.
Right.
Truth, the truth. Toddlers are crazy.
So some of the content that you have on SavageEnergy.com is EVPs. You guys got some video, but we had some technical issues getting that taken care of.
Always technical.
What are
issues.
some of the tools that you use when you guys do an investigation?
Oh, we got a lot.
Yeah. Well, the the main
thing.
real paranormal tools we use are voice recorders, K2s, cameras, video cameras. We're in the process of building our SLS camera. And then we use some of the non-traditional paranormal tools, which are our personal favorites. I have many of my pendulums that we use. We have the dowsing rods.
We
love
have
the
the
dowsing.
crystals. We have the tarot cards.
Lots of books.
Lots of books.
Lots of books. So many
Because
books.
I'm a book nerd, and I would rather read the book about that. I say most of the technology is sifting through. You may take it all with you. We may use it all, but half the time,
We
like,
don't.
We don't.
We don't.
Yeah.
We just sit and talk amongst ourselves, and then next thing I know, you're like playing it back, and you're like, "Hey, did you hear that?" I'm like, "Nope, we were having a whole different conversation. I have no idea where that came from."
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, you'll have me on the rods where I'm like, I'm going this way. Y'all are going like the other way. And
Right,
then you're like,
right.
like
I
10
feel-
minutes later, you're like, hey,
I feel like
where'd
we
she
don't-
go? She's
Right.
squirreled and we can't find her. Oh shit, where'd she go? 'Cause
And then there's
it
me,
happens.
who I mostly do all the videos, like recording everything, and I'm supposed to be videoing everybody doing their stuff. I'll hear a noise and I'll turn and I'll just disappear. And then you
Yeah.
guys are like, "Hey, there's something going on," and I'm like, "Oh, hold on, wait, let me come back," because squirrel mode kicked in, and I was
Squirrel.
like, "What's
And-
that noise?"
Yeah.
Then by the time Kelsey comes back, we're like, oh yeah, well, it's gone
gone
now.
now.
It's
Yeah.
gone now. It's gone now.
I'm hoping to rectify that. We get some more cameras. We should
The-
be
Yeah,
fine.
we're gonna get some
I
of
feel
those
like-
cameras to put a little monitoring camera in each room.
Right. I feel like my biggest enemy with listening to EVPs is the app that we use for our spirit box, because occasionally when the words come through, it sounds like a demon growling, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, how it like breathes and like
yes!
growls at you.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's growling.
like, we're
It's
sitting
a
there, like-
demon. And then she's like, no, that's just the app.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just the app that we're using.
No.
We're
I
like, "All right,
freaking
so
hate this app. Like, is there a way to
edit
turn the
that out."
noises off? We don't really know.
We're
No.
not gonna do both of those at the same time anymore. If we're gonna use that, then the recorder's gonna be somewhere else, because that's just, I can spend 8 hours editing and get one EVP by the time you get done going through everything. Oh, shut up.
It's crazy.
Could you try again?
No.
It's crazy though, because we have gotten, like, the last investigation that we went to, we did the sensor deprivation experiment, and it was
I didn't like that.
not.
I didn't like that at all.
It was interesting.
I liked it except for when they were kicking my chair.
I
It was
didn't like the
interesting.
fact that I sat there and then thought you two were just gone, and I was by myself. And
We didn't leave you.
I know, but when you're like, your eyes are closed and your ears are covered, and all you're hearing is the static, and then
The
all of a
static.
sudden you
Oh
hear
my
people
God.
talking to you, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I know those are not the people that are surrounding me right now.
right.
Yeah.
And I
it's-
didn't like that.
It's not even like most of like the obvious technology that I've used with other teams has been like where it like skips the radio station, so it's not just like silent static all the time.
Right.
Ours is silent static
Yeah.
all the
Terrible.
time. It is
It's-
terrible, and like occasionally
It's
you'll
like that
get like
one
a
radio
random
station
voice.
that you get in your car that
Yeah.
you're never gonna hear anything on.
And then like
and then-
randomly you hear like a blurb, and you're
You're
like,
like,
what was
eh,
that? Oh
eh,
God,
right.
no!
Yeah.
What was that? Wait, no. What did you say? I didn't hear you. You have to talk louder because I can't hear you over this static, and it's
Yeah.
awful. It's awful.
But that is pure white noise.
It really is.
So
It's
with you
crazy.
guys are approaching this quite a bit differently with how you interact with your clients, the way that you investigate. What's the most important thing about when you go to a client that wants your help? How do you approach it differently than other teams?
So I think because of everything that we've like grown up with and whatnot, we're more about helping people.
We're more
More about
understanding them.
understanding them, making them believe that they're not crazy.
Your story could never top some of the things that some of us have experienced. So
Right.
like when you tell me that you have something staring at you from the closet,
Like, all right, that's
Okay,
cool. We've
like
got
I
all
got
of
this.
these.
Like
Right.
we can set a camera up. We can catch us on camera.
Right.
It's not crazy, and I feel like a lot of other teams that go in, they try to like
They just
debunk
instantly like boom,
every
boom,
single
boom,
thing that
provoke,
the people-
provoke. Let's
Yeah.
get some action, and it's like, no, we just want to go sit on the couch or sit on the floor, or sit in the room that they have the most problem, and just sit. Like half the time, we don't even break out equipment yet. We just kind of sit,
Yeah.
get a feel, and then we're like, okay, this
So-
is where we're gonna start. This is gonna be our main.
this
like,
is
focus
where
point.
we're feeling the most activity, like the most energy, the most weird feelings.
And a lot of the
then-
times, our clients are like, yes, this is what I'm trying to explain to people, and they don't understand like what
Right.
I'm
The
feeling.
first quarter to half of our investigation is mostly just sitting with the clients,
Mhm.
letting them tell their story so that they can A, feel heard, B, feel validated, and C, not feel crazy.
And I think us letting the clients be like in our investigation, like they understand the rules. Like if you're gonna say something, just speak up, ask questions, but don't get involved. Like when we're trying to do a whole lot, I think that makes them feel a lot better
Yeah.
because they're like, okay,
It's
you know,
validation for
Yeah.
like the things that they're going through and the things that they've seen.
right,
And then they know, when we get to this point in the investigation, okay, we are going to need to go on our own so that we can continue to investigate because, number one, they may not like what we find.
right,
Number two, we don't want them to influence what we find.
right,
And number three, we want to be able to put all the evidence together into a nice complete package for them so that they don't get overwhelmed and can actually understand
Right.
what we found.
Yeah.
we just blab it all out at once. They're
Yeah.
they're
And-
not gonna understand
I
what's
mean,
going
we
on.
use a lot of tools and techniques that a lot of other groups in our area don't use. Like,
No, and I
a lot of them don't use the new age, the occult type things. And,
Oh.
like, I mean, not a lot of our, we have a lot of bugs. We
And
have a
that's
lot
only
of,
part of them.
so we've got our herbs.
gemstones and-
which we use. We're still trying to figure that out as far as like how to use them. We've got our seance books. We've got a book that we are not going to say out in public
No,
because
we
that's how
don't
bad
say
things
that.
happen. We've got a different guides to paranormal
We don't need
and
to write
witch
those
groove.
No, that's why we're not talking about it.
Scrying and dowsing, which we are all kind of dabbling in. This is one of our go-to guides. And then this book, this is the book that we only use if absolutely necessary. We do not bring it to every single investigation because
Yes.
that's how you provoke things that you don't want to
Right.
provoke.
And I
anymore.
still have to read that book because I still have to finish my class on demonology.
Yes,
on top
yes,
of all
you do.
my other schooling that I have to do.
Yes, yes, you do.
So there's education that you can get to help you do this a little bit better, to investigate deeper.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I feel like if you are one of those people who's just like, hey, we're gonna start a group, we're gonna go do this. Don't do that. Just don't, because
a lot of people get in over their heads. They
Right.
don't know what they're dealing with. They don't know that things can and will follow them home. They will attack them in their own home,
right,
on their own front. And
right.
a lot of people they don't get that.
I
They
think-
don't get that there is a certain safety risk of going into these
there
places.
is, and I think a lot of people don't understand that what you project comes back to you like tenfold. And I think that was one of the biggest conversations we had before we even started this group was, hey, this is what we want to do. Let's use some of these things. My first thought was, cool, I'm going to go buy a book because I want to know what we're getting into before we get into that. And that quickly grew into book collecting for everything that we do.
There's a book for almost
We're book
everything.
collecting, we're pendulum collecting,
Right,
we're
we
crystal
have-
collecting, we
yeah.
have tons of tarot cards now.
Yeah, we, everything like...
Dowsing and scrying is like
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I've extensively studied. So
Right.
we do a lot of like scrying and dowsing and the dowsing rods mostly because like that's my comfort zone. I know how to work all of that stuff, and I mean the reactions that some of our equipment have to my personal energy field compared to like everybody else is completely different. Like
Right.
I get on the dowsing rods and they go absolutely crazy. They're hard yeses and hard no's, and
I know with Tabby
everybody
using them,
knows.
They work
It's
good
crazy.
for Tabby for strictly yes and no's. They tend to make
Yeah.
they pull you in directions. With
Right.
Tabby, it's pretty much yeses and no's. But they're like, nope, go over here. Nope, go over here.
And then
Yeah.
you with the pendulum,
Yeah,
you get yours, and then I get my cards, and I'm like, when I'm not reading the book, trying to figure them out because I'm still learning, and I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And by that point, it's because we already got our answers.
Yeah,
And
we're all like trained differently
Yeah.
for different occult type situations. Like I know a lot of folklore and
Right.
different stories from like the Native American tribes, and we know a lot of different spiritual entities
Right.
kind of
But-
go along with different things that are attached to the land versus
Yeah.
attached
Right.
to the houses. And
Right.
just because something is in the house doesn't mean that it's necessarily
Demonic or-
like house bound. It could travel. We
Right.
don't know this, and a lot of teams in our area don't really like take the time to understand what happened on the land to maybe influence
Right.
the
I
type
mean,
of
we
haunting that
we
they're having.
backtrack all that. Like,
It's not just the house. It's,
Right.
It's the land. It's not like, okay, well, I'm going to go research this address.
Right,
And
we take-
Joe
I
Schmo
mean-
lived here before. But
right.
no, it goes all the way back to,
Right.
We take like weeks.
yeah.
Like the
weeks
last
before we do an
investigation we
investigation.
went to, like the farm down the street from the house that we're investigating, like it used to be a cemetery. They
Right.
moved bodies. Who knows if they moved all of them? Which is
Right.
there's a chance that they didn't move all the bodies. They just moved the gravestones. We don't know
And
this.
we don't know if we're ever gonna find that out.
And if we don't know if maybe the activity that they're experiencing in that house has something to do with that or not.
right.
And it's it's important to remember that, and remember that not every entity that you come across is demonic.
Right.
It's
And, like, when
crazy how many people claim that they have demons, and it's really not demons. It's
Right.
obnoxious.
And like when we
Absolutely
talk about
insane.
like what we do with the occult, we are not
Yeah.
we're not summoning demons,
No.
we're not dealing with Satan. Like we do things that are safe. We do things that we project are positive. Going into the investigation, it's like really weird. We just we say like our little, we're not here to hurt you, we're not here to harm you, and we're not actually talking to the clients. We're talking about the spirits or whatever we're dealing with. That hey, we're not here to push you or poke you or be like, hey,
force you to leave.
right?
Unless,
We
like,
just want to know
absolutely
why you're
have
here,
to.
what's going on, why you're doing the things that you're doing.
Give us your story so we can help you move on and be
Or at
heard.
least come to terms to live with
Right.
the people
Right.
in the house.
You have to have equality.
Peacefully.
You can't just take over a room because you think it's nice.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta share. Sharing is caring.
But I mean, we've also had investigators that have been jumped on investigations, and like jumping is when a spirit like physically enters into a person, and it's scary. Like you don't know if you're gonna get stuck with that entity inside of you, and it is absolutely terrifying at times. Like the last time we were at the current house that we're investigating, you were jumped almost by the weird.
My emotions were no longer mine.
Yeah,
And
it
That
was
took
weird.
a while for me to come down out of that. Like I was
Yeah.
still freaked out.
And I'm like, it's nice having somebody that is like me. Like I'm a little more practiced
Right.
in that. So I'm like, all right, this is how we're going to get rid of this. You're going to white light. Imagine your little bubble and then make it brighter and you're going to push it.
Right.
And you're
Yeah,
going to keep
'cause
pushing until like you feel like you're yourself again, because sometimes, occasionally, you don't feel like you're
No, I
yourself.
think that further, like, especially with me, because I'm the one that emotions are my thing. Like, I feel them. So the further we're into investigation, the more open I am. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, hey,
Oh,
I'm not okay.
I'm not
Somebody needs to
okay.
get me.
Yeah.
Because then I start crying or I get upset and I get angry. And then it's like my body starts shaking. And I'm like, okay, I can't pull myself out of this. I need one of you. And
right. And I think that's what makes our group great is that, like, we know that if one of us is really struggling in a location, that, like, there's something there
Right.
that's
Right.
influencing the other person. We know
we
each
don't-
other's personality
we don't just
enough.
leave you to like be like, all right,
Yeah.
no, you
Okay,
can figure this
you got
out.
this.
See you later.
You're
Right.
great.
Bye.
No, like we take the time. Like I sat with you on the floor, and I'm like, all right, this is how we're gonna do this.
Yep.
Take some deep breaths. Start imagining your bubble, and you're gonna
And that,
push it.
I
And
say that night. Yeah, that night it really took me a while to come out of that. I mean, I was still feeling
Yeah,
it when I
it
got
was
home, but
crazy.
I wasn't okay.
yeah.
And
It was absolutely insane. But then, like, we've gone back to the same location. We had nothing.
right,
It's so weird. Like, sometimes you go to locations and you have all kinds of crazy
like
stuff. And then, like,
feelings and
other
then whatnot,
times
there's
you're
nothing
there and
there,
you're
yeah.
like, we're like, why are we here? We don't know.
right. And I
It's
think
crazy.
I think with most groups is they don't have, like, yes, they say that they're a team, but
They don't really,
it's-
like, take
no,
care of
it
their
should be
teams.
more of like a family. You aren't gonna
is.
let somebody help. Like, you aren't gonna let somebody in your family get hurt or whatever. Like, you need to protect them. But just being like a team where you're like, okay, here's a camera, go do your own thing. No.
Right.
No.
There's always at least two people together unless you feel like you're okay by
Unless
yourself.
a squirrel and then
Right.
you're like, where did you
Oh yeah,
go?
or unless you just have to walk
Why?"
away. But no, there's always two people to a team. Or like if somebody, like with me, because I record so much, I have to go switch out, and I'm like, all right, cool, you guys are fine. I'm gonna go switch this out real quick. But if I don't feel comfortable, I'm like, hey, somebody go with me. I just need to swap batteries or change out this, and then I'm good.
Right.
Right.
But we're all connected enough to be able to feel when, hey, she's not okay, I need to go find her.
Right. We
Yeah.
do that with you a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Like,
I'm the
nobody's
problem,
seen
it's
Megan
me,
for
I
a
know
little
this.
while. Can you go find her?
I mean, and like other teams that I've been on have threatened to put me on a leash because I catch an inkling of energy somewhere, and I'm like, I'm going this way.
I'm just
this
happy
is
that-
where we need to go.
I'm
Like,
just happy that a lot of the places that we've been aren't very big, so
Yeah.
that way we can like
We
can
find
contain you.
if we have to go to the cemetery,
Oh, you're getting a leash. I'll put a harness
y'all
on you.
have to put a harness on me.
Yeah.
Like,
We're all
put
gonna go
the
buy
leash
the
to the
Burger's
backpack.
choker chain.
Right, we're all gonna have
Put
backpacks
the
with
leash
leashes.
to like my backpack.
We're all gonna have
good,
like
'cause,
chains like hanging from our waist, and somebody's gonna like just tug on it when you need to come back.
You know, like it's proof of life. Make sure you're not dead somewhere because and like
Right.
it's crazy. Like we've had weird experiences at like the Menor Cemetery.
Yeah.
We've been there a few times. It's just weird. And
Cemeteries.
I have a love-hate relationship with cemeteries because they're so big and they're so open.
Yeah.
I absolutely, because I swirl so easily with energy, that like I have to have.
Yeah, 'cause you
I have
start-
to have a handler.
Yeah,
Pretty
well,
much,
right.
essentially. I have to
Cemetery
have-
is
I
a
know.
hot pool of energy.
Right.
I mean,
I know that like I've started like walking through them, and I'll start reading them, and I'm like, oh, you're so young, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm just like in the middle. There are 4 driveways. I have no idea where I am, and I'm like, oh, this is a good one right here.
We're gonna sit here and talk to this person because I
Right.
have no freaking idea where I am.
Nope.
Like
And I'm
it
just like,
happened on when we were at on Halloween with
Uh-huh.
Loafers, which was one of my old teams, and my usual handler Brian, love me to pieces, like that's my best friend. He is like,
he's watching.
hey,
Is
you
he-
have
Yeah.
to watch her because she will squirrel. Like
Yeah.
you literally like
And you squirreled.
people
and
laughed.
nobody could find you.
People laughed, and like he's like, no, really, I have to go to the bathroom, and I need you to babysit her and make sure she doesn't go anywhere that she's
and
not
then next
supposed
thing you know,
to go.
Megan's just gone.
Yeah, she's
Exactly,
gone.
pretty
Nobody
much,
could find her.
essentially. And then they found me like in the weird corner with all the unmarked graves, and they're like, "How did you get here?" And I'm like,
No.
I feel like we
"Wait,
find the
where
oddest
am I?
places.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even
We
know where I
just-
am. I'm like standing looking around, like,
we just get a feeling,
how
and
did
we
I
just
get here? I don't
wander.
even know. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then people are like, how did you even find this? No idea.
No clue.
This is
We
where we're
just
gonna
go,
sit though.
like-
This is where we're gonna go.
This is how it is. Like we just go, and thankfully everybody else on our team
We kind of
knows that like
we're just roamers.
we just roam, and eventually somebody will hopefully find us. Which like I have a
It's
love
usually
hate.
us.
I have a love hate relationship
Usually
with
April.
cemeteries.
She's like, what are you doing?
Where are you?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know where I am. It's crazy. Yeah, no, like I've been to like Chestnut Grove Cemetery. We've had crazy experiences there.
I've never been there. I want to though.
That's the Ashtabula train disaster cemetery. I got jumped on by something in a tree there.
See, I've lived there my entire life, and I've never been down there because I just
it was
never been.
no.
it was not nice. I fell. Something jumped on me. I fell. Went to get up, and Brian said it literally looked like somebody picked me up and like threw me back down.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Nope. I would have been like, goodbye. I gotta go.
I'm out.
No.
I'd have been like,
no,
come on, do it again.
Don't
Do it again.
touch me.
Do it. He's like, on that note, we
Look like a
should
spider.
probably go home. And I'm like, but now we're getting all the good stuff.
Right?
Right.
No.
And then the cop rolls through. He's like, hey, so you can't be here after dark. And I'm like, oh.
Yep. Time to go.
Time to go before we go to jail. That's just what I need is, the jail record that says I broke a rule by being in the cemetery after dark like a weirdo.
Well, if the shoe fits. I
Right.
mean,
I mean, I am a weirdo, but like we all know this, and that's why you guys love me. 'Cause
So how do you
I
guys
swirl
deal with
and
that
weird.
weirdo persona, right? Because you're chasing ghosts and ghosts don't exist. What do you tell people who maybe challenge the authenticity
Come
of
to
what
an
you
investigation with us,
prove it.
Right. Yeah. I am all about
proving things.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
proving things and coming from people who they may have just never seen anything, or they may just brush it off, or like, oh, they heard a little noise, it's fine. But for people like us, it's more of, well, we can prove it to you, just let us show you,
Yeah.
kind
Right.
of thing. And then there's other people, I'm like, you don't believe me, I don't care, go away.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
We don't have to be friends.
Yeah, I don't
We
care.
don't
But
have to
I
be
think,
friends. That's
I
okay.
think this day and age with all of the technology and all the videos, like all that stuff can
And
be
all
fake.
of the teams that are like on
and
TV.
all, yes, oh my god, the teams, half of them are just ridiculous.
Not
but-
everything is a demon.
Right.
No, not
But
everything
a
is
lot
demon.
of it
It's crazy.
is that
It's a crazy the amount of teams out there that are like, oh, I heard this noise. It must be a demon.
yeah.
No, there
We
are many
never-
different types of hauntings, and demonic is probably like your least likely. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna want to like figure out if this thing was human or not before
We
you
never
start
just,
saying
like-
that it's a demon, because
We never just jump to a conclusion. Like if somebody has legitimate questions, we have no problem sitting down, talking to you, answering your questions that you may have. We have no problem showing you proof and showing you evidence. And then there are people who, oh, I saw this video, but it's not a real video, and then trying to explain to them why it's not a real video.
there's a lot of like CGI effects
Oh my
on
God.
paranormal videos online. I'm like,
YouTube
if
for
you've
that.
seen it online, it's
not
probably not
real.
real. I'm gonna tell you now. And a lot of those you can tell, like some of the images in the windows are
Yeah.
CGI because it doesn't match up. It doesn't line up
Right.
with any of the rest of the video.
No.
So you're gonna tell me that like a clock pauses, but the video and the music that you have on there also pauses and
Yeah.
then restarts and tells me that it's a ghost. It's not-
Right.
No.
And we have actual pictures of whatever.
Like we have pictures, videos,
Yeah.
EVPs, like we have that stuff.
And if you look at the picture, you can tell if it's edited because you look at not just the spot that you want to see, you look at the whole picture. Like in the windows, okay? All the frames line up. The background behind the picture lines up. If it's edited, the whole entire picture is not going to fit together perfectly.
Right, and you can see the little blurbs
Yeah.
when people are like trying to stuff stuff together, like
Mhm.
stretch it out. You can see all that stuff.
You have a viewer question, which is, how would someone who's experiencing a haunting contact you?
We have a website, Savage Energi.
ENERGI.
Yes, yes.
That's
The I is important because you won't get our group. We have Instagram, Facebook. We have Twitter,
Discord.
Discord. That
That's
is
my
Megan's expertise.
that's
That's
all
my
her.
that's
Megan.
me. I'm there
Um,
all the time.
I can be-
Sometimes
I
I
can be on
talk to
Facebook.
myself.
Yes.
What is your Discord name, Megan?
My Discord name is on our server is Megan. My Discord name for general is Tinka. It's a
Okay.
nickname.
And those are in the description below where they can be reached. Any last words from each of you? Maybe go around. Start with Megan. What do you want people to know from your first cast?
This was fun. It was great. I mean, I feel like, we're all like practically family anyway.
Yeah.
This is a topic that we obviously are very passionate about.
Oh God, we don't shut up once we get started.
We were
Talk
so
about it all day long.
nervous
I say we were nervous
about this, and now that like we have our first one under our belt, I think we did pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, we were really worried that we were going to be like the awkward weirdos that we
For all of you
normally are.
watching who are my friends outside of our little circle, I didn't say one swear word, so
Be proud of us.
I don't think any
We
of us did. That's got to be a record.
no.
It is. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Somebody better
I know.
mark
You
this
need-
in
you
the
need more
calendar.
wine.
I'm gonna have to go
I know.
outside
I
and just
didn't
start
like-
spurting them off because this is.
We didn't really
Yeah.
like cuss, swear, or throw a fit. Like
No.
I
No.
mean, I didn't squirrel. Well,
No.
I can't really squirrel because I'm
You're
like,
stuck. You
I'm
can't.
stuck. This
We're all
is why they
squished.
stuffed me in the corner so that I can't squirrel.
Right. Yeah.
They know how it is.
They do.
I mean, they know that I squirrel easy.
Yeah.
April, your final thoughts?
Tabby, we missed you.
Yes, Tabby.
Tabby, you
will
gotta be
be-
the next one.
She will be
Brian.
here for the next one.
Brian, our only male in the group. We originally were going to make this an all-women group.
Oh yes, that
Because
was one of the things we talked
It
about.
was just one of those things where we just all fit together, and
That
we
I
were
feel
going
like
with the
And then I
compassionate
kind of
side
dragged
for
him
women.
along,
right.
and
But he fits.
he does
Yeah,
fit.
he does.
Yeah.
He really does. He fits in well with us. Poor him. He is
Poor
the
Brian. Sorry.
He is the only guy, but he really does watch out for the team. Like,
He does. Yeah.
make sure that we're all good, we're all safe, we feel like we're safe, and he really he knows
Yeah.
more than most people. Like, if I start looking like I'm not myself, or Kelsey starts acting weird, he knows
Oh,
that
Tabby says missed you guys
it's
too.
not, that something's not right, and
Right.
he has, at that point, he will usually step in and be like, all right, we need to get you outside for fresh air,
Yeah.
and
Take a break.
calm down and be chill, and it's nice to have
Brian says, sorry, he says, I don't mind being the only guy. Because we're not bringing any more on.
No.
He's used to being the only guy usually in our group of friends, so
Yeah.
it's nice that he knows how much I squirrel.
Right.
Yeah.
I squirrel a lot,
And the fact that he can tolerate all of us is amazing.
Oh yeah. When we
Yeah.
all start doing our little thing, when
Yeah.
we're just talking, and he's
Yeah.
like, oh,
And he's like,
I'm over here.
hey.
He's like,
I'm
whatever,
here.
I'm going this way.
Right.
Y'all talk over here. I'm gonna go this way where
Yeah.
I think there's a something.
And then out of
And
nowhere,
even
we
if
just
there's
turn
not, I'm
right.
away from you guys.
We just turn around, like, where'd Brian go? And he's just gone.
But then
Yeah.
occasionally we're in another space, and then all of a sudden we turn around and he's
Right
right
there.
there, and we're like, where did you come from?
Right.
Why? How did you
Right.
just magically
He
appear?
just sneaks up and you turn around
He
and he's there. And
walks
you're like,
so freaking quiet. It's crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna put a bell on you because you scare the crap out of me half
Right.
the
I'll
time.
bring Winchester's little.
Collar. Yeah.
He scares the crap out of me all
Kelsey,
the time.
final thoughts?
I would say, don't hesitate. We are all
Contact us.
Yeah,
yes.
we're all understanding people. If one of us will get back to you. We're not gonna make you wait. It's usually April or myself. You can email, you can Facebook. You know,
We do have a phone number.
we have a phone number too. Yeah.
Discord us.
Yeah.
I'm always on Discord. I'm
We-
usually that's my thing.
We're not-
I'm on Discord all the
Right,
time.
and we're not just going to be like, okay, we'll get back to you in 5 to 7 business days. We will have a conversation with you. We'll get all your info. We'll discuss it amongst our, ourselves of hey, this is what's going on.
We'll at
we-
least make contact with you within 24 to 48
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
And I would rather
go
that
and there
you-
be nothing.
Right, I would rather
and
quote unquote waste our time to come make you feel comfortable
Right.
to know that there's nothing there than to have you
And
deal
we're
with
not that
something.
group who pushes it. We're not going to be hey, contact us. We saw you post something.
right.
We're just going to be hey, we're here if you need us.
Yeah.
If you don't, that's okay.
right.
but we're here.
we're here.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of cases involve kids, and obviously, if it involves kids, that's our top priority.
Oh, yeah.
And other cases we'll
Yeah.
have to step back a little bit.
Kids are always our
Kids in the
priority.
paranormal. That is always our top priority because kids are easily spooked and things happen more easily with kids because they're more open to the spirit world.
Right.
That's one thing we don't take lightly at
No,
all is if
we
the
do
kid's
not.
being bothered.
If there are
Yeah.
kids involved, we're there like as soon as we can because, you know, like I don't want a kid to be terrified like I was when I was growing up.
The same thing for me too. People didn't understand, like, who are you talking to? I don't know.
We don't know. We're just talking to something
I
that's
have an imaginary
there.
friend who isn't quite imaginary.
Mhm.
So does it cost anything for you to come out and investigate?
No.
No.
Our services are completely free. We will do it multiple times if we need to. If you know, don't feel like you are getting any peace of mind, we'll come out as many times as it takes. If we feel like we can't handle the situation,
We'll move it up to the chain of our
yeah,
contacts.
we have other people who we
We
can
have
get
lots
involved
of
with.
other contacts, lots
Yep.
of other people that we can pull in if we need to help
Right.
Yeah.
with things.
So there's no expense to anybody but
No.
us. We just invest our time, and that's just because we love what we do.
Mhm.
Good. Well, you guys did a fantastic job.
Yay,
Uh,
we survived!
So next week we'll
We all
be
fought it.
we'll be
Yes.
tapping back into this again. Megan, you're closest if you want to get the mouse and where